This video will demonstrate the chef's 8-cut chicken. First, we will start by removing the wing tips. We will do this by finding the space in between the flat portion of the wing and the tip, and the cartilage in between, and place our knife and cut directly through. Next, we will remove the legs. Flip the bird over and find where the thigh bone connects to the backbone. Placing your thumb over that joint, you can hyperextend the joint and actually pop the thigh bone out of its socket, and you'll see two large bulges. Those are our oysters that we want to preserve as part of the leg. Make a cut crosswise right at the top, and then with just the nick of the tip of the knife, you can open up that little pocket where the oyster's in and use your thumb or finger to loosen the rest of the meat in there. Continue with the tip of your knife, ensuring that your knife stays nice and snug against the backbone of the chicken. Come around the top, separating the rest of the oyster, and you should be able to start to see the thigh bone socket where the thigh bone connects into the chicken carcass right there. There'll be a small tendon in there to cut and loosen off, and then a little bit of skin. Be careful not to cut the skin too high on the breast side. You follow through, keeping your knife nice and snug along the backbone, and you should come out the other end. The next step is to remove the backbone. First, we want to locate the spine and the shoulder blades. We want to cut on the inside of the shoulder blades, between the shoulder blade and the spine, as seen here. You stand it up, loosen some of the meat down to the rib bones here, and then you're going to slide that knife along that line that you made in a nice swift cut. Be sure that the tip of your knife does not go through the breast meat on the front. Next, we are going to find the breastbone, the center of the breastbone, so that we can split the remaining chicken in half and have two breast portions. Use your scimitar and a light tap to go through the bone. You should split that keel bone in half perfectly. Now we want to remove some of the excess smaller bones. The first one we'll take care of is the shoulder blade. Now, what we want to do is make an incision along that shoulder blade, preserving as much of the meat as we can, and go right down to where it joins into the shoulder socket of that drumette. Use your fingers to just push the meat down once you've made a little incision. Now the trick here is to make sure you get that meat all the way down into the socket and make sure it's cut, and even with the fingernail or the tip of your knife you can get it right into that socket. And then you want to bend it backwards, hyperextending it, and the cartilage should just pop out of it and you shouldn't break it. Now, if you haven't removed the wishbone at the start, you want to make sure you go back and remove that. You can use your fingers to just loosen off the meat, and perhaps your knife just to get down to that same joint where your collarbone was in. You can just hyperextend it and pop it out. And we'll move on to our ribs here, and we're just going to trim those ribs, the knife as close to the rib bones as possible, back to where there's a natural joint where those ribs connect into the keel bone. You trim back just until they'll fold back, and it's almost like perforated paper. You can use it to just pull them out. So at this point, you now have quartered chicken. We want eighths, so we're going to split the breast in half. Notice that we're not splitting it evenly in half by length. We're actually splitting in half by weight. So that would be about 1/3 on the wing side and about 2/3 by length on the tip of the breast side. Use a tap of the back of your scimitar to cut through that keel bone, and you now have 4 pieces of breast and you're halfway done your 8 cut. Next, we will split the drumette off from the thigh. If you stretch out the skin just like that, you can see a small fat line as he's showing there. You want to cut just to the thigh side of that fat line, and you should find where the joint is. If you're not sure, you can bend it and hold your finger over top to feel where the hinge point is. Place your knife right over, and it should just go nice and smoothly through, cutting the cartilage, separating the drumstick from the thigh.